What's up, retirees and future retirees? It's Coach to Win. I'm back. It's been a minute since I've uploaded, but I just wanted to talk about how I saved up to 100K. Yeah. So it all started with me starting my teaching job. I wish I had put more in, but it is what it is. I was not too sure of the markets. I was a little hesitant, and I started with $50 a month for every time I get paid, right? I paid that into my 403B. And so for about a few years, I was doing $50 a month. And then I got a little bit more serious and I started throwing in $500 a month. And then I started this year throwing in about, not about, but I maxed out. I maxed out at 2,300 or 350 a month. So whatever the maximum is for this year, because it changes uh, year after year because inflation, right? So that's how I saved up to 100K. Now, for those first few years, let's say about like 6 to 7 years or so, I was, I guess it was kind of like set it and forget it, and I didn't want to think about it too much, which kind of backfired because if I had put in like $300 to $500 a month instead, I would have probably a lot more than 100K right now. But it is what it is, right? Everyone starts off somewhere, and that's what my encouragement is for you today, is to start somewhere, whether it's a 401k or 403b or a Roth 403b or a Roth 401k. So those are some things to consider. Now, I will probably make a video about how to maximize your saving, but this one's not it. This one is more about, hey, just get started. And I'm going to talk about my journey on where I'm planning to go from here now that I have 100K saved up. Now, it took me a little bit of time and effort to make this video because I was really thinking about it and I was waiting for my transfer from one account holding company to another account holding. I teach in California, so now I've transferred everything over from one company to CalSTRS in my pension to savings for my 403b. And I switched over from a 403b contribution to now a Roth 403b, and those two accounts are now separated. So I'm going to let this 100K just sit there and I'm going to set it and forget it until I retire. I'm not going to contribute any more into it. I want to see where it's going to be in the next 10, maybe 15 years if I decide to work for another 15 years. But 55 is what I'm trying to get to. So that's about like 11 and a half years or so of teaching, and then I will retire. That's my goal. So again, I just want to see where this goes. Now, let's talk about my 403b, the Roth version. I will be depositing tomorrow, which today is when I drop this video for you, 2,350 a month for every time I get paid. I don't get paid in the summer, so I won't be contributing during the summertime, into my Roth 403b. And I will be contributing for the next 11 years-ish, maybe a little bit more than 11 years because I got 11 and a half more years to go of teaching. And I want to see where this gets. And my goal is to get, if I contribute, like just doing basic math here, if I contribute for the next 10 years, that's about like $23,000 a year times 10, that's 230 for 10 years of savings, right? So if I'm letting this compound and I'm just guessing here, we don't know how the market's gonna, be, but if I don't think I'm gonna double, but I'm hoping to save at least $400,000 by the time I retire in terms of the 403b, the Roth version. And then my hope is that within the next 10 years-ish, 11 years and a half, shall I say, I hope that my 403b, where I set it and forget it and do nothing with that 100K, see where it goes. I just want to see if this thing is going to even break $200,000 by the time I retire or graduate from teaching for like 30 years, right? So that's my goal. And I have one more thing that I do hope, and I'm still contributing because this is required. I get roughly maybe 10% or so taken out of my paycheck to contribute into this like cash balance where I know that it won't affect me with my Roth, because if my employer contributes to my Roth 403b, I know that there's a rule that I can still get tax on that. So I'm going to dive deeper into that maybe in another video. But I'm hoping that that cash account right now, it's accumulated about 140K, right? Something like that. We'll see. I'm still contributing to that. Again, my district is just putting it in for me and basically set it and forget it. If I work for 30 years or 17 years, I can pull money out of that account and I can use it. But I'm not planning on touching that at all. It's set it and forget it. And I'm hoping that that account will reach another 400K. So if those two accounts, my Roth 403b, which I'm contributing to, and my cash value can get to 400K, if possible, and if I'm lucky enough, my 403b, that's 100K just sitting right now, compound over the next 11 and a half years, I should have roughly $1 million, right? Net worth wise, on paper, that I can retire with. Now, again, I'm trying to retire at 55. If I wanted to max out and be a little bit more rich when I'm retired, I would totally wait and work until I'm 59 and a half. And that's when I can max out as much as I can in terms of how much I get paid for my years of service. And on top of that, for my contribution to the cash value account. And then also my contribution to my 403b, the Roth version. I will definitely have over $1 million for sure. But my goal is not to reach $1 million. My goal is to actually reach a retirement age where I'm happy and I'm comfortable with retiring and live a happy retirement. I don't care for living a rich life. And I encourage you to also not feel like you have to hit a certain age or a certain amount of money to retire. But I want you to retire when you're ready to retire. Now, if I can't retire right now, I probably wouldn't, because I still have a lot of good years left in me to work, and I really love my job. I love teaching high school students. I love seeing that light bulb go off in their head. I love watching them struggle, and I'm sitting there watching them struggle and struggle and struggle, and I let them fall on their face, and then I help them pick themselves up, and then I help them learn, and then I help them find a better way for themselves. Now, high school kids, they're funny creatures, man. They sometimes will go one ear and out the other. And then some kids, they just get it right away because they're mature enough. And some kids, I just let them fall, make mistakes, and let them learn the hard way. And I'm going to let some of you do that as well, because you're not going to listen to me. You're not going to start saving right away. You're going to be like, oh, let me just put it off. Oh, let me just put it off. Oh, let me just put it off. And then by the time you're like, oh, let me just put it off for another 10 years, you know how much money you could have saved, and that compound interest could have helped you save, or not help you save, but make your savings, whatever you're saving, I wouldn't say savings account, but one of your retirement accounts, save much more than what you thought you could have saved. And so, yeah, my encouragement is to do this. Here's my plan. All right. Here's my advice for you. Start with $1. Contribute $1 a month to something, right? The next month after that, contribute $2. The next month after that, contribute $3. The next month after that, contribute $4. So just try that, right? So if I know that somewhere out there, people are working, they're making enough money to save $1 a day or $1 a month, right? If you want to be more aggressive, I highly recommend that you start with $1 a day. And then the next month after that, $2 a day. And then the next month after that, $3 a day. And then another month after that, $4 a day. Another month after that, $5 a day. That's basically like a drink from Starbucks a day that you can save that money instead of spending it. Just do it. Just try that. And I guarantee you, you will surprise yourself, because that's, it's called series. It's a series, okay? If you learned that in math in high school, there was, if Joe does a push-up one day, 2 the next day, 3 the next day, that's called a series. And you keep adding up how many push-ups did Joe or whatever do in 30 days. That's a series. You've learned this stuff in high school before. You just never applied it to actually saving money. Try it. I guarantee you that you will save more, and I don't want you to save too much because, you know, you got to live a little because that's what I did. I didn't save too much because I wanted to live a little. But now I'm ready to just like max out everything, everything, all my accounts, everything. As much money as I can save, I'm saving. Why? Because I want to make sure I have enough money in my retirement, but at the same time, I don't want to not live either, you know? So it's a balance, right? I felt like I've lived enough already. I've traveled enough already. I don't feel like traveling anymore. I know it's a privileged thing to say, all right? It's a privileged thing to say that, oh, I don't need to travel anymore. I've traveled enough already. Because I have. and that's why I don't regret not really putting in more money into my savings because I did get to live that experience. Now I have time to actually catch up. Because if the math is done correctly and the compounding is done correctly and the market is not going to go to crap, which I think it will, that's for another video later. Um, I should have roughly saved up $1 million between those three accounts that my district is contributing for me, the Roth 403b that I'm contributing to myself or with the money that I make, and with that $100,000 that I've transferred over to my pension too, I should have roughly $1 million. So I know it's contradictory for me to say I'm not trying to reach a specific number, but I mean that's a goal. But I don't really care if I do hit it or not. It's more like if I hit it, awesome. I'll have $1 million on paper, right? And I'll be net worth millionaire. But 10 years from now, what the hell is a millionaire? You know what I mean? You need to be a 10,000-aire to be like, not 10 millionaire to be a millionaire, you know? So, anyways, at this point, I'm rambling. I just wanted to share that tip with you and encourage you to save. Okay? So, we're going to say goodbye now, my retirees and future retirees, with get your hands ready. Rock, paper, peace. Let's hang out again in the next video and you better save that money. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.